Hey everyone, long time no see. I guess this week everybody's preparing for their Thanksgiving, so I got a little bit of time to record more videos, and you will expect to see more videos coming on my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk about cloud native tools available on the CSR1000V in AWS, and we just announced this capability last week. It's called GuestShell. So usually when people manage the CSR or manage a Cisco router, they do Cisco CLI, they do Telnet, they do SSH. But a lot of customers love the way they manage a Linux box. So today we open the shell access to the customer. It is because the CSR is nothing but an application that is running on top of a Linux. So we open the Linux shell access to the customer. However, you do need 512 megabyte memory to host the Linux container. So make sure you have available memory on the CSR. And this is supported on our latest 16.7 release and onwards. It gives you the native Linux shell access. You can do the command, you can run your custom scripts, and we support Python as the current supported language. So you can write your Python script to automate some day-to-day jobs. And I will give you some examples on what are those use cases looks like. And the script can access the iOS XE CLI boot flash, which is kind of powerful. So you can do some provisioning work with the script. You can do some file transfer to the boot flash to do some maintenance work. And also, since it's a Linux environment, you can also install AWS CLI and SDK to automate your day-to-day jobs through scripts. And it can also be leveraged by EM script, which will more like a cron type task to trigger the script. So think about the HA we have today. It is based on the BFD neighbor, and then we'll do the failover. And what if you want to use other mechanism to trigger the HA script? Probably you can write your own script and just say, okay, if this physical interface is down, if my IPSLA session has a loss for like 10%, I do a switch over. So you can have your customized HA solution by using GuestShell and combined with the EM. And I will show you some examples in the later of this presentation. And below this link is our GuestShell GitHub. So there's a lot of samples script out there. So if you want to check out how do you write your own script, you can just click that link. So first, we need to enable the GuestShell, and I will walk you through how to enable it on my CSR. So basically, it uses your virtual port group as a source interface and connect to the outside through a NAT. If you think about the CSR, it's nothing but a Linux box. And then you have your iOS running. This is the blue area, which is iOS. And you have your CSR interfaces, like local interfaces, gigabit 1, gigabit 2. The GuestShell actually is running in a Linux container. So now we have a container on the right side, which need to be connected to iOS, because that's the way you need to access the container. So you have to set up a virtual port group 0 or whatever the number you want to put there, and set up a local IP, and then you have to set up another IP on your GuestShell container, which they can talk to each other. And because the GuestShell is running in the container, it probably need to access the internet if you want to install some external CLI, external library. So you need to configure that, which is kind of important. So in this case, we are assigning 192.168.35.1 to the virtual port group 0. And we assign 35.2 to my Ethernet 0, which is running in my GuestShell container. We also set up the DNS server or name server as 8.8.8.8, which is Google DNS name server. And then we set up the GuestShell ACL to match the NAT traffic, so the GuestShell container can access the outside. And in this case, your virtual port group will become the NAT inside, and your gigabit 1, which will become the NAT outside, because gigabit 1 is connected to the Amazon infrastructure, and then it will be routed via their route table and goes to the internet gateway. And there are a couple scripts available on the GitHub, and it is also available on our configuration guide. And I will walk you through what are those scripts do, and we can talk about the sample script. So let's go to configure the CSR. So first, I want you to find our latest configuration guide, which is here for AWS. And then you choose enabling the GuestShell. This is a chapter we just added yesterday. If you click that, okay, it will give you a couple steps you have to do. So basically, everything running, let me make it bigger. Everything running in AWS has to be authenticated by their IAM role. So in order for the CSR to make the API to their infrastructure, for example, I want to query my metadata services, then you need to give this CSR EC2 IAM role, which has the privilege to access the EC2 API. So first you have to create IAM role. And I'm not gonna bother to create those rules in my demo. Those are steps which already listed on the configuration guide. Let's go to I create a role in advanced. So if you go to my AWS console, and let's go to IAM part. Okay, if you click roles, you're gonna see a lot of roles because I run a lot of lab for the Cisco Live. So let's select GuestShell. Okay, so basically I have a GuestShell role, and I just give EC2 full access and S3 full access. You can drill down to limit to a certain functions you want to let it allow to access, but I just give the full to do the demo easily. And then if we go back to the configuration guide, let's assume the role has been created, and we need to assign the role to the CSR instance. And this is also very simple. I have a CSR which is running 16.7 release, and then I can just do attach role. Now the GuestShell role comes up, and you can just choose from the drop-down list, and then you just click apply. While the role is under applying, let's go to configure the CSR. As I mentioned, you need to put your interface gigabit 1 in the net outside, and let's just log into my CSR. Okay. And if you do a show version, you can see this is 16.7. Let's go configure it. Interface gigabit 1, 19 net outside. The DHCP is already configured by default, so you don't have to do that. Interface, we can just copy those parts. And one thing to be noticed here, we are configuring 0 as virtual port group, but in the guide, we kind of made it wrong, so we're going to change it to ASAP, but you need to make sure the number here matches the number here, so I need to change this to 0 as well. So now let's just copy the part. Okay, and then I need to change this to 0. I need to change to 0, match the interface that I just configured, and copy that part, the long part. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the resource. This is tell the CSR how many resources the GuestShell need, and also these two commands that should be run at the global. We're gonna update this as soon as possible. So you need to run GuestShell enable. So it will take I would say 1 or 2 minutes to be configured. In the meanwhile, let's go back to check if the role has been attached. I still attach it. Let's just do a refresh. I try to do that again. Okay, in the meanwhile, let's go to here. It's still being, okay, so now it says it has been deployed and actually it's running. And there's a command to check show app hosting app ID list. Okay, it says it's ready. Okay, I don't know why the attach row takes so many time. Maybe because I run it before. Let's see. Let's try to attach again. I don't have a row running. Now let's attach to the GuestShell. Okay, now it's quick. I don't know what happened. Okay, but we have a row attached, and you can check this GuestShell row is here. Now let's go back to the configuration guide here. This is tell you to run a Python. So if you run this script, you will promote a Python, which you can just do print GuestShell. It will just give you a Python console, and we can quit. I'm not going to teach you how to do Python because I think most people are doing this. They're going to learn how to do Python, and those people already do know how to do Python. I'm going to give you some examples. So we assign the role, we install the GuestShell. Okay, so now let's go into GuestShell. And one of the powerful things is the GuestShell, you can just do GuestShell run. And then you can just give the path of the script that exists in your GuestShell container. And this is very powerful because you do some EM script, it can just do a GuestShell run when something happens. Okay, how do you enter the GuestShell? Just hit GuestShell. And now we are in the GuestShell. If you want to do iOS, IL, you want to do what is the kernel we are using? We're using 4.4. So this is Linux. Okay, so this is not a CSR command. This is a Linux command. What we want to do is we want to install the AWS CLI first. Let's just do a pip install. Because Python comes by default, so you can do pip install. And I will also show you some example to install some CSR script. So let's try this iOS i3. Before that, let's go to my S3 console, and then this is my bucket, which is in, I think it's in North Virginia. Okay, CSR image, that's CSR, we can do AWS S3, iOS, CSR images, FY2. Okay, so it listed, okay, this is the bin file I have, and this is actually running in the CSR. You run the, yeah, do you think that's good? Actually, you can run your AWS CLI instead of CSR. Now, let's go back to the configuration again. We need to install the sample, right? As mentioned, the GitHub will give you some script which we write for you, and you can use that as sample. And now let's do an install. Okay, it's done. After you have do the install, those scripts will be available for you. If you just, and we'll add that to our execution environment. Do show get. You can see the get status job, get metadata, get route table, which is pretty cool, and it's already there. So let's take a look at what those scripts do. So we have a metadata that kind of retrieves the instance metadata, like what is public IP, what is the ENI ID I'm using, and we also have a get route table. So it's going to retrieve the route table that's within the VPC. We have a save config to S3 Python, which kind of will copy your current running config and push to S3 bucket. We have a save tag support, which can save to S3 bucket. If somebody want to do a troubleshooting and they want to copy the tag file outside to other place, you either have to set up the FTP or TFTP. Now we can just transfer to S3 bucket. And load bin file from S3. This is pretty interesting. Like somebody want to do an upgrade. I just upgrade my bin file to the S3 bucket, and then I use this command to load that bin file to my CSR, change the boot flash to that bin file, and then do an upgrade. Get statics job, so the CSR will trigger a show command together. What is my tail job? What is my package job? And send to the CloudWatch. And I will show you this in the demo. Capture interface, it will do a PCAP or like Wireshark. So CSR, so we doesn't do Wireshark, but we have the same capability. It's called monitor capture. So it's gonna capture a specific interface for the package and that's pushed to S3. So let's go to some of the script. Let's check the get metadata first. Oops. Get metadata. Okay, you can see I'm running GuestShell1000V, AZ, and what is my network, what is my interface, what is my I guess there's my instance AMI ID, and what is my instance ID. So this all information is gathered from a CSR running in the GuestShell, and we can do a let's do a load bin file. Load bin file, and I think I copied here. Okay. This is the bin file I put in the S3 bucket, which you already see from my previous S3 list. And now let's log into the CSR. Let's log in the CSR from the other side. Let's do a dir. There's no BLD, whatever the name in my flash. Now let's copy this. I didn't license the CSR, so probably the upload speed is a little bit slow, and you probably will see some tail job, which is harmless. Once you have the CSR licensed, it's gonna go through real quick. Let's just give it a couple time. I will pause here, and after the upload has done, I will come back. Actually, literally just 30 seconds later, it has done 100% now. Download successfully. Let's do a dir. Okay, now you see the bin file. If we do a shell run, let's say boot. You see, it also changed the system flash to my new bin file. So it will take this one and after the reload. Okay. I guess that's the load bin file, which is pretty easy. If you want to see the script, you can just do via, I think it's in the bin directory, load bin file. Okay. Then you should be able to see this is the script. And it is pretty simple. And if you want to change something based on the script, you can just change it. Okay, let's take another one. Let's take this one. Say if my CSR has some issues, it's not sending traffic, and some people want to check, okay, is my CSR sending the traffic or is my CSR getting the traffic? You want to enable TCP dump. So let's do a packet capture. So this actually will capture the gigabit 1 for both direction, and by default we're gonna capture for 10 seconds, but you have the option to choose, okay, I want to capture for like 60 seconds. And then we upload the pcap file or the captured file to a S3 bucket, which is the same S3 bucket I put before, named to gigabit 1 pcap. So it's gonna do a 10-second capture. You can see there's a little counter running here. Okay, done. Let's go to my S3 bucket. If we do a refresh, you see the pcap file is here, and we can just download it. And then we can just double click, open it. Hopefully my Wireshark works on the Mac. Okay, so this is my pcap. You can see there's a lot of SSH, which I'm just doing SSH. This is kind of cool, right? Now, and I mentioned, some of the script has a help. If you do H, I think it's going to tell you, okay, so those are the parameters we take. You have to put that in sequence, and we also support a second, and you can just change based on your time. Okay, so I think those are the scripts which we put on GitHub, and let me also show you where's the GitHub link. I think I put up here already. Okay, so if you click, okay, it's gonna go to Cisco DevNet. So everything we do is under Cisco DevNet, and then you see, so here's the instruction how to install it. Here's the script. If you click one of the script, it's gonna lead you to the script, and this is some sample example. Okay, I think the script is under CSR. GuestShell. I'm sorry, it's under the examples. Okay, so those are the scripts. Okay, so I think that's kind of walk you through how to install the GuestShell and how do you try those scripts. And let me show you a real use case or somebody like the use case. So one of the challenging people say, okay, what is my CSR throughput and how do I measure what are those traffic that went through my network? And we can combine the Python with GuestShell with CloudWatch. So basically, you have to have a Python script in GuestShell and gathering the CSR throughput by show platform, hardware, QFT, active data bus utilization. And you can send those key metrics to AWS CloudWatch through the AWS Boto 3 Python SDK, which here is the script. And I think this is also available in my in the sample. EM script, which will trigger the Python based on a regular time interval, because the script will only be executed once. If you want to have some cron type job, you need to use EM script to trigger the Python. Something like this. So you have an event manager, and then the watchdog time 15 really means every 15 seconds it's going to trigger this Python script, which basically will just do enable and do a GuestShell run. And that's the Python script which it has in the GuestShell. And then you can visualize the throughput on your CloudWatch. And here is the, let me just copy this to my i3. Sorry, copy to my CSR console, and we can run it and check it out on i3. Okay, I set to 15 seconds, so we can do a show event manager to say when it has been triggered. Okay, it probably didn't come. Okay, the timer, so it has been triggered already. And I guess there's because every time I triggered, I would say GuestShell get throughput. So do show login. Okay, so it means that it has been triggered. Okay. Now if we go to your CloudWatch, let's go to metrics. Okay, how do I go to my? Okay, this is the. Okay, probably I was in that matrix before. Okay, you see this is the matrix, and then these are my CSR matrix, and we can filter out by my current CSR, which is this instance ID. Now we can just come here and do filter. Okay. Okay, you can see there's some tail job which told you it happened before. That's because I'm copying a large file from i3 to the CSR and I don't have a license. So that's the reason you see there's a tail job. And if you want to see my data path utilization, there are some metric here. So you can take like BPS 5 minutes. Okay, so that is my throughput. You can see it goes from 200K and then come down. The CSR, by the way, the CSR comes up with a 1 meg license, so it can never go beyond 1 meg, but 200, 250K is a pretty good number here. And this is the input total, 5 minutes, and then you have your input total like 5 seconds, which is like 4.4K. So those are the metric we sending from the CSR to your CloudWatch. And you can just set up some like graph here, and people can just looking this as a dashboard, and then if it goes beyond some kind of threshold, you can trigger Lambda function. So this is just one use case how you can leverage the GuestShell. So that's kind of the script to kind of do the real-time networking, sort of real-time monitoring, and there are other use cases you should look for, like what if I want to have my customized HA solution? What if I want to do some external calls to my management system to tell them my interface is down? So those are the use cases the GuestShell can help. And I think that's it from my side today. And Thanks for watching.